On Air is the software used by Synergy in live broadcasting. This is often referred to as playout software. This tutorial will cover the main features in the On Air software and how to use them. Armed with this information, you should be able to master the use of On Air very quickly. This panel displays the current date and time. The icon to the left gives a visual display of how much of the hour has passed. At 1 minute to the hour, this icon turns red and counts down the seconds to the top of the hour. The clock on the left counts down to the end of the current track, selection or playlist, depending on how the playlist is set up. This is the history window, which displays the titles of the last 3 tracks played. This is the Mode button, which toggles between Synergy's 3 broadcast modes: Live Assist, where the presenter controls the software; Autopilot, where the playlist advances automatically under software control; and DTX, or Direct to Transmitter, when the playlist bypasses the desk. This is normally an unattended mode. This window displays information about the track currently playing from the playlist. Until its fader is closed or the track ends, this window displays information about the previously started track. This is useful when mixing or performing a segue. The icons down the left of the screen provide controls for manipulating content in the playlist. The playlist is the area where the scheduled content is listed in the order in which it will be played. To the right are cart stacks, which are normally used to play out incidental content such as jingles, station idents and promos. The playlist and the cart stacks can both play any type of content contained in the Synergy library. The menu buttons are context sensitive, and the facilities accessed by these buttons will vary depending on the current configuration of Synergy. The menu buttons are a software version of the multifunction buttons on the Synergy desk. The trash icon can be used to delete items from the playlist and the cart stacks. Finally, the program meters. These will show the level of the program output and various monitoring features. Clicking on the yellow Library menu button will open the Library window. There are 6 tabs in the Library window, each corresponding to a major area of content. Local is a shortcut to a folder used to store WAV files. These can be played out without having to be imported into the library. Carts are sets of jingles or other content which can be added to a cart stack in a single click. Synergy is designed to operate in a commercial environment, so this category is used to store adverts. The jingle category is fairly self-evident. You will note jingles can be categorized by type. The Music tab opens a list of all the tracks in the Music section of the Synergy library. And finally, the News category, which is used to store sound bites and reports for use in news bulletins. HBS may choose to use some of these categories in slightly different ways. The Music tab contains a significant number of entries, so being able to navigate to and search for a specific item is important. You can scroll through the list using the scroll bar or the scroll wheel on the mouse. The list can be arranged alphabetically or chronologically by clicking on the column headers. An incremental search can be performed by typing the first few letters of the search on the keyboard. The list will move to match what has been typed. A full search can be conducted by pressing the red Search menu button. This opens the song search window. The search term or terms are entered in the appropriate search fields. When the Apply button is pressed, tracks which meet the search condition are displayed, and the Filter toggle button is active. Selecting a track and clicking on the Preview menu button opens the Preview player. This is similar to the prefade system which you've been using. Pressing Intro will play the start of the track and display the countdown to the end of the voiceover. Pressing the Outro button will play the end of the track.
To make the scene. La 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 la.
The countdown information will only be available if it has been added when the track was imported. It is possible to make temporary changes to the gain and the pitch of the track in this window. The changes will only be applied once. The Preview window can be toggled off by clicking the Preview menu button. Various attributes added about the track can be viewed by clicking the blue menu button labelled Info. There may also be factual information in the tab marked Research. This information is only available if it's been added when the track was imported. The window is closed by clicking the blue menu button once more. Clicking on the filter icon toggles the display between the result of the current search and the full list. Pressing the down arrow will move the display down the list by one screen. Pressing the up arrow moves the display up the list by one screen. To close the library window, click on the close icon. Although these tutorials are concerned with the Synergy software suite, it is important that you understand one of the main differences between the current HBS system and Synergy. Because of technical limitations, when you play any item which is located on the HBS music server, you can't prefade or mix to any other track on the server. In effect, the current system has one playlist which is controlled by a single fader. Although Synergy has a single playlist, it's controlled by two faders, normally labelled Playlist A and Playlist B. This allows the same operational flexibility as you currently have when playing CDs or vinyl. If you open the fader for CD 1, you expect to play the CD loaded in that player. So, how does Synergy decide what to play when one of its playlist faders is opened? Because the Synergy system is entirely digital, the faders have a built-in logic. If both faders are closed, whichever is opened first will start the item at the top of the playlist. If a fader is open and the other is then opened, the next track in the playlist starts. This allows tracks to be mixed.
This is the life. Here's where the living is.
The default setting for the playlist is fader start, which means that the track starts as soon as the fader is moved. Fortunately, there's a recovery mode. If the fader is accidentally moved and closed again within 3 seconds, the track is re-queued and placed at the top of the playlist. When a new track is started, it appears in the primary window. If the previous track is still playing, it moves into the secondary window. When it stops, it moves into the history window. If this sounds confusing, don't worry. There will be hands-on training sessions which will allow you to become familiar with the operation of both the Synergy software and hardware.